Hi, it's us, the Double Stitch Twins. Today's project is the crochet remix dress. We'll show you the remix technique so you can add crochet to a simple tank top. For this project, you'll need a long, loose-fitting basic tank top, a ball of medium weight yarn, a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook, a large eye needle, some stitch markers, a tape measure, and a pair of scissors. So we're going to start by threading the large eye needle with your yarn, and we're going to pull this length. It's going to be doubled, so that's a 2-ply, and we're going to stretch it out to 2 times the length of the hem on the bottom of your tank top. Let's cut that yarn and tie it in a nice knot and stretch it out evenly. So now we're going to find the seaming on the left or the right side of your tank top. And if you have that little double seaming, that's perfect for you to create a straight line when you're creating your loops. You're going to start on the inside of the garment and poke that needle right on through in the middle of that double seaming and pull it all the way out. So now I like to measure with my thumb. That's about a 1/2 inch. So we're going to create a loop and poke it back in and pull it right back out. That creates a 1/2 inch loop, and the little space in between each loop will be a 1/4 inch. So you'll repeat this step all the way around, making sure to poke through and right back out for a 1/4 inch little space in between each loop. If the shirt is stretchy like mine, be sure that once you pull the yarn out that you stretch it back out and even that yarn up. You don't want it to be too tight or too loose. Continue this all the way around until you meet back up at the seam where you started. So once you reach back to your starting point, you will place your needle on the outside of the garment to the inside to make sure that your knot ends on the inside of the garment. Make sure that it's all stretched out. And we'll tie this in a knot and cut it. Let's go back to the seam where we started, and that's where we'll start crocheting. Now place your hook from the bottom to the top of the loop, pull your yarn through and chain 3, 2 and 3. That's your first double crochet. Now we're going to double crochet into that same loop. Go ahead and double crochet again into the next loop and again into that same loop. Continue 2 double crochets in each foundation loop. Once you're at the end, slip stitch into the top of your initial chain 3. Now this should be nice and smooth without pulling on the hem of your tank. So for round 2, we'll chain 3, double crochet into the next double crochet, and double crochet into each double crochet around until you reach your initial starting point. Once you've completed your final double crochet of round 2, you will simply slip stitch at the top of your initial chain 3 to close. So here we have 2 beautiful rounds of double crochet stitches. Now let's start round 3, our first round of treble crochet. We'll chain 4 and treble crochet into the next double crochet and continue to treble crochet into each double crochet around. So now we're at the final treble crochet of this round, and we will slip stitch in the top of the initial chain 4 to close. Now we're going to start round 4. This will be our first open work round of treble crochets and spaces. So we'll begin with our initial chain 4 for the treble crochet, but we're going to go ahead and add another chain, and that will represent the chain 1 space. We'll skip the next treble crochet and treble crochet in the one after that. Now we'll chain 1, skip the next treble crochet and treble crochet in the one after that. Oops, that was a double crochet. Let me try that again. Skip the next treble crochet and treble crochet into the next treble crochet after that. We'll continue this pattern of chain 1, skip 1 treble crochet and treble crochet into the next treble crochet all the way around. Once we've reached the final treble crochet, we'll chain 1 and slip stitch into the top of the first chain 4 to close. Moving right along to round 5, we'll slip stitch into the next chain 1 space, and we're going to chain 5. That represents a treble crochet and 1 chain 1 space. We'll skip that treble crochet and go ahead and treble crochet right into the center of that chain 1 space. Let's chain 1 again and treble crochet into the next chain 1 space, and continue this pattern all the way around until you reach the last chain 1 space. So we're continuing this open work, but it's kind of like a brick lane pattern, as each treble crochet is right on top of a chain 1 space. Now we've reached the final treble crochet, and we'll chain 1 and slip stitch into the top of the chain 4 to join. This time we'll fasten off. With your garment lying flat, right side facing up, we'll start right at the seam on the side of your top where you want your split to be. Measure 5 to 7 inches from the outer to the inner, and take your stitch marker and place it right in the chain 1 space where you want your split to be. Now turn your work around and begin where your stitch marker is located. You'll be moving in the opposite direction away from where you started your measurement. Place your hook in the chain 1 space, pull your yarn through and chain 4. Remove your stitch marker and continue to treble crochet into the next treble crochet. Treble crochet into the next chain 1 space. Now you have 3 solid treble crochets. Chain 1 and treble crochet into the next chain 1 space. Continue this open work pattern, chain 1, treble crochet into the next chain 1 space, and continue this pattern around all the way until you reach the last chain 1 space. Now that we've reached the final chain 1 space, we will treble crochet into the next treble crochet, and then treble crochet into the same space as the very first treble crochet. This completes the first row of our split. To begin row 2, turn, chain 4, treble crochet into the very next treble crochet, that makes 2 solid treble crochets on that end. Remember, the previous row had 3 solid treble crochets. Chain 1 and treble crochet into the next chain 1 space. Oops, I double crocheted again. Here's the treble crochet. Chain 1, treble crochet into the next chain 1 space, and continue until you reach the final chain 1 space. Here's our final chain 1 treble crochet into the last chain 1 space. And now we'll chain 1, skip the next treble crochet, and treble crochet into the last 2 treble crochets. Here's 1, and here's number 2. That should be right on the corner. For the rest of the skirt, you'll repeat row 1 for the odd rows and row 2 for the even rows. For my dress, I completed 7. So for the trimming, I begin with a chain 2, double crochet into the next treble crochet, double crochet into the next chain 1 space, and continue to double crochet into each treble crochet and chain 1 space across. So now that I'm completing my final double crochet, I'm about to start working along the split. Sometimes in patterns, this is called working along the ends of rows. So to begin, we'll chain 1 and double crochet right at the end there, and double crochet right along that treble crochet stitch. Find little spots to evenly double crochet until you reach the top of the split. So once you reach the vertex of the split, or the point where the split meets, you'll just start working back down the other side and double crochet right there in that treble crochet and along the ends of rows nice and evenly. And once we reach the end, we'll double crochet and slip stitch at the top of that beginning chain 2 to close. Next, for the soft ruffle trim, working back along the bottom of the skirt, we'll chain 3 and double crochet 3 times, that's 1, in the same stitch. Here's 2 and 3. Now we'll double crochet into the next double crochet stitch, and moving on to the next, we will double crochet 3 again in the same double crochet stitch. Repeat this pattern across. Now slip stitch into the top of the beginning chain 3 to join. Cut your yarn and fasten off. Weave in all your ends and you're done. And there you have it. You've just added a contemporary spin to a basic tank top. You can use this technique to add crochet to just about any garment. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our page. And be sure to click the notification bell so you'll know every time we post a new video.